unsportsmanlike.
The ball game is over. The Timberwolves have stolen game one in San Antonio, 104-102.
It was a great game. I mean, really good job by our guys, just, figuring out a way to, make enough shots and sticking with the defense.
Fireball.
K-Fed Sports Radio.
Minnesota. I saw, obviously, that he was back. It was we got that news from Shams Charania, ESPN senior NBA insider, earlier in the day. I'm watching the Knicks game. It's such a blowout. I go over to Minnesota and San Antonio, and I see Ant. I didn't realize he came off the bench. So he comes off the bench, and obviously they were awesome. Now I was distracted by the court and the crowd. I don't know. How do we feel about this? Like all the pink and blue, and I love pink. But, I
didn't love it.
It was too much. It was,
it's distracting. I agree with that.
Am I an old man for saying that?
No, because I thought the same thing. So maybe we're both old together.
What happened to the black and silver with the Spurs? I know that's the old school uniform, but give me a little black and silver out there. I'm not saying that that's why they lost, just to be clear on that. But
trying something new.
What?
They're trying something new.
Yeah, I don't love it. How did you feel about what Ant did last night? Coming back from that knee injury, playing the way he did, and leading his team.
So impressive. When we first got word that he was going to play, I was a bit shocked because even though he had been rigorous in his training, I know he was working on an underwater treadmill and doing everything that he could to get that knee back into the best condition it could be in order for him to play. He still had no contact work and didn't scrimmage. So I didn't know if he was going to be physically in a place where he and the team felt comfortable for him to go. But as he said post-game, he knows how important this is. He knows what a spark he is for his team, and he absolutely provided it last night. They were cautious with him by having him come off the bench. They limited him to 25 minutes, but he certainly made the most of it. And it was awesome to see Ant back out there last night, being a catalyst for Minnesota's Game 1 win.
Stunning. There's no other way to describe Anthony Edwards coming back from a hyperextended knee that was so bad it bruised the bone. And 10 days later, this happened, I believe, on April 25th. That was that Saturday game against the Nuggets. He's out there playing meaningful minutes, 25 minutes last night, coming off the bench. And I know he said he didn't feel 100% out there. He didn't have the lift. He didn't look like his normal self, but he was still damn explosive and a big-time contributor. And I'm actually starting to believe Julius Randle when he said he's Wolverine. He just heals fast. Some athletes have this ability to heal faster than others. Very clearly, whatever blood Anthony Edwards has flowing through his veins right now is just different than the rest of us, because it's not normal. This should not have happened for him to be back this soon after an injury that looked that bad.
Courtney, I thought about you when he was playing last night because I thought about our show yesterday. People can go back on the podcast, and you were way more critical of Jason Tatum than any of us were. Mm-hmm. Did the Tatum Ant-Man comp come to mind last night while watching the game?
Look, we saw Anthony Edwards go down under the basket, have to be helped off by two different trainers in Minnesota on that Saturday night against the Nuggets. I didn't think he was going to be back at all. The timeline was indefinite. Chris Finch had no clue right after the game, and it was, we'll see if he's able to make it this far. And the way that the rest of the team picked up everything in his absence after losing Ayo Dosunmu the second game, that right after that, or that the next game after that injury. That's why I said the word stunned. But as it pertains to Ant's injury and Jason Tatum's left knee stiffness, right? Is stiffness, not soreness.
Stiffness, yes.
I'm never going to be someone who criticizes a specific injury, but we never saw something happen with Jason Tatum. To me, that seemed more precautionary in a do-or-die Game 7 than Anthony Edwards coming back in Game 1. No one on the team expected him to come back. Chris Finch said he didn't think it would be until Game 2 at the earliest, and he stunned all of his teammates by being out there. So I wouldn't say it factored into how I feel about it. Honestly, Evan, I put the Tatum thing in a completely different category because Jason Tatum gutted it out this season to come back from an Achilles rupture. But all of a sudden, left knee stiffness pops up on the injury report 2 p.m. before Game 7. Feels a little suspect. But I look at Anthony Edwards. I look at what it probably took for him to gut that thing out when he's not feeling 100%, probably won't be feeling 100% for however long this playoff run ends. And it's nothing but inspiring for a team that a lot of people had already written off going into the Spurs series because they had lost their best player. And, oh, wait, by the way, their best player is somehow back.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards has been in the conference finals of the Minnesota Timberwolves the last 2 years. He's awesome. My opinion of him went to another level last night.
Because he was out there?
Oh, yeah. When you do that, when you do dumb things to help the team, I'm all in. That's a dumb. What he did is probably dumb, but it's just to help the team. I'm going to put myself through hell to help the other 16 guys, including the two-way guys, if they travel and they're not on the Blazers. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that every one of them have the best chance of doing what they've dreamt of doing since they're little kids, which is winning a title. And I'm going to put myself through hell in order to do that. Yeah, you go to another level with me when you do something like that. Because that's what he did. So we sat here after the show yesterday, behind the scenes a little bit here, and we're talking about, all right, what cool storylines can we talk about on Tuesday? And we all went to the place of, well, the Spurs are probably going to win. Ant's not going to play. And I remember you saying, I can't imagine him playing.
No.
And he played. And he scored 18. He played 25 minutes. Now, are there basketball reasons as to why the Spurs did not win? Yes. Wemby took too many threes. I love Wemby. He had a triple-double with 12 blocks, an all-time playoff record. You're 7'4", 7'5". I understand Rudy Gobert is an all-time great defensive player, but get closer to the basket. Simple as that, right? Castle fouling out obviously doesn't help in this game. And Champagnie had a wide open-ish three to potentially win the game at 104-102. And I'm not going to sit there and crush Mitch Johnson, the head coach, about not calling a timeout because of the fact that I got if I'm the Spurs, I got a wide open look to potentially win the game. All of that factors into it, right? The poor play, the shooting by the Spurs was bad last night, specifically Wemby, 0 of 8 from behind the arc. But I'm not going to think about anything else other than Anthony Edwards never should have been in this game and basically said, screw it. What does it take?
I also thought of you because I knew that you would love Ant gutting it out to play last night. Also, after the game, when they asked how he felt and if they could up his minutes in game 2, he said, I felt great, whatever coach needs from me.
Yeah.
That's an Evan Cohen bar right there.
Well, and I was critical of Chris Finch the other day, the head coach of the T-Wolves. People can go on Sports ESPN on our social and see this because I didn't like the comments that when he said Denver could have avoided us, right? Denver could have avoided us, and they would have avoided us by losing, which I don't like to suggest losing. But the reason I respect the hell out of him, because he's just like, I'm going to put him on the bench. I'm not gonna just force him back into the start. This is Anthony Edwards. This is the number 1 pick in the draft. This is the best player on your team who took you to 2 straight conference finals. And you're saying, I don't care. He's got to do for him, and I got to do for him too, though. And my version of him is limiting his minutes, at least early on. But now, doors wide open. You go up 2-0 on the road at San Antonio, you're winning this series. So I am so impressed with what Anthony Edwards did last night, and my opinion of him went to another level after that game last night. All right, coming up. There is a major move that was made in Dallas yesterday, but not with the team that we always seem to talk about.